Hi, Capricorn rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 28th of April until 4th of May. So, welcome back, Capricorn rising. We are in the middle of a significant shift for you. I think to understand where we are going, we have to recognize the internal arrangements you've been undergoing. Last week, as Venus met Uranus in your fifth house, the house of creativity, romance, and self-expression, you likely felt a sudden, perhaps disruptive kind of eureka moment. You were pushed to detach from old creative blocks, or perhaps a romantic pattern that was no longer serving you. Now, as we move into the current sequence, the energy is shifting rapidly from the creative spark to that daily implementation. So you are being asked to take that new creative energy and build it into your daily routines. Why is that? Because Venus met Uranus on 29, it went into Gemini, it made a sextile to Neptune, but this week it's making a trine to Pluto and Juno, as well as a sextile to Saturn. So basically, it's a sequence of energy. And firstly, it feels like it's a transformative alignment. Venus is going through your sixth house, the house of work, daily habits, service, forming that very powerful trine to Pluto, sitting in your second house, the house of income and values. So it might be that you are harvesting money, basically. So a work that is paying off. Or maybe this is a massive activation of your professional worth. You are not just working, you're fundamentally altering how you generate your values, your income. And with Juno also sitting in your second house, you are entering into this new long-term commitment. Maybe it's a contract, a financial agreement, and that demands you treat your skills with a bit more respect. So this is brilliant for increasing your prices, for example, or even kind of like publishing a bit of work of yours. But I think you are shedding the grind mentality and stepping into a more efficient, more empowered ways of operating. This isn't about working hard. Venus doesn't like working hard. It's about working smart. So maybe you feel like you have been undervalued at your job, or your daily routine has been draining your resources. Actually, this might be about negotiations for more. Audit your daily habits, though. What isn't supporting your bottom line? Cut it. Your time is currently your highest value currency. However, Venus is making a square to the nodes as well this week, and that's a bit of a tension point. A square is pretty much a decision making, especially in the sign of Gemini. So it's a decision making whether to speak up or to be quiet, or to resign from work or to stay here. This is also a classic tension between your immediate local environment and your long-term philosophy or your beliefs. So you might feel tempted to get lost in the busy work of the third house, like sending emails, running errands, short-term troubleshooting, but at the expense of your higher vision. So you might worry that if you don't answer every message, your plans will collapse, for example, if I speak up about my own truth, then I don't know, I'm gonna lose my job, and so on. Even Hebe enters your sixth house this week as well, and Hebe is the archetype of youthful service as well as vitality. So she changes the game here quite a lot because Hebe says, don't micromanage your daily life. Start looking at how your service can be a form of play, and how that form of service can actually provide you financial security. So it feels like that you are working on your money basically quite significantly. Maybe you feel a stress from busy work, then in that case we have to pause. Hebe says that we are young to burn out already. Instead of trying to perfect every email, focus on the joy of the work. How can you be better teammate or a service provider? How can I work more efficiently? Um, I think KB's energy brings a light, helpful touch to your workplace. So you can really use that. It's better to be efficient and lighthearted than overwhelmed and rigid and going towards burnout. So of course you're gonna have to be thoughtful about mental health related matters as well. And Pluto really would like to empower you that everything is gonna be okay. Mercury is making a conjunction to Chiron before it shifts into Taurus. So this is about healing certain type of connections with your family members, or it's about Porphyros is also where you recharge a little bit. So it's a healing moment where you might need to be speaking the truth about your childhood or your living situation or the family dynamic you have been keeping quiet. This is empowering you that it's better to speak about it rather than keeping it in, because Mercury is the dispositor of all that sixth house energy. So by not speaking up, we might experience something with our throats, for example. And then Mercury shifts into the fifth house. That's trying to ground your thoughts, but it's about moving away from healing the past to creating a future. So let's clear the air with family members. Let's organize the home. And once Mercury hits the fifth house, your mind becomes more creative, but practical creativity. So that's brilliant for launching a passionate project, finalize a creative idea, have a grounded, fun conversation with your partner or children, and that might be leading to a breakthrough. Moon goes out of bound in your 12th house. And that's the house of retreat, hidden patterns, intuition. So this might ask you to be a little bit quiet, or you decide to be quieter than usual, or you might feel that sudden urge to withdraw from the noise to listen to your internal compass. Asteroid Shiva enters your fourth house this week as well. And Shiva represents transformative destruction. So it shatters things so that it can be rebuilt. And this is the destruction of your old foundation to make room for something new. This is about destroying your past belief systems. This can be destroying connections with family members as well. But I think your internal world is already super hyperactive. So be ready for sudden insights about your past, about your living situation. Be prepared for change at home. This isn't just a mental shift, it's a very action-oriented change that you are making. So renovation, move, redefining what home means to you. It's you becoming the architect of your private life. It's time to rebuild the walls on a better foundation. It really feels like that you are moving from a professional value reset at the start of the week, a bit of a busy intellectual tug of war, and then after you are making certain type of radical domestic transformations in your life. I think it's time to get serious about joy, you know. It's time to build a life that supports your work, supports your privacy, and not the other way around. Yes, you can have the fear of losing stability, of course, and that could hold you back from changing your foundation. But that's not going to work with all that Aries energy. So I think take my advice, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.